Hello, good evening, everybody. Hello and welcome. Hello. Got people joining us already, so I'm a little bit late. So, how are you all? Hi, Passionate Saji. How are you? Are you well? Yeah, great tutorial tonight that we've got for you, haven't we? So, welcome everyone. Tonight we're diving into the mysterious and transformative world of tarot combinations. And we are focusing on the Five of Pentacles. Imagine uncovering just a fraction of deep and powerful meanings that this card can hold, not just on its own, because we are pairing it with some of the minor arcanas. Now, what could it reveal about challenges, resilience, or unexpected opportunities? How might these combinations help you understand your journey in a whole new light? Tonight's session is a tiny glimpse, a taste of the magic that awaits you. So if you're curious about the deeper layers of tarot mastery, this could be the perfect first step. My signature courses is where we'll truly unlock the full spectrum of meanings behind every card in the combinations. But for now, let's get started on this exciting journey. So, here we are. Hello, Passionate Saji. How are you? Oh, it looks as if my Mac's a bit slow tonight. Let me just check that. Yeah. Hello, how are you? Are you well? Good, good, good. So, we've got the Fool and the Five of Pentacles there, okay? And we've got some keywords there that are not right, so let's get rid of that one. The Fool, what planet does it link to? Anybody know? Anybody know? Oh, gosh, you're sick. Oh, dear. Okay. You've got, oh, it's flared up your asthma. Well, you know that you've got to take it nice and steady, nice and slow, nice and easy. Take your time. Glad that you're with us. Just watch, sit back, relax. So, what planet? Hi. Hello. How are you doing? Thank you for saying hello. Lovely to see you. I've got the spinning ball on my computer. Hi, Coco Brown. It's lovely to see you. You're welcome. So it's a tutorial about these cards. So we're going to be using the Five of Pentacles, like I mentioned, and we are going to be looking at how we can combine the two together. All right. So the Fool. Well, let's start with its planet now. Uranus or however you want to pronounce it, that is the planet for the Fool. By the way, everybody, today we have put a couple, it's only a couple, don't get too excited, some PDFs up there that you can actually get for free. And one of them is the chart that I sometimes show you, which is the ruling planets of the actual astrological star signs. So you can go in and have a look at what Uranus pairs up with astrologically, and that will help you. Why? Because so many of the cards are, of course, attached to planets or astrological signs. And the more you know about that, the easier it's going to be to feel that you're confident in your readings because you know what you're talking about, okay? So we know that the Fool is Uranus, okay? And we also know that has an astrological sign. But for now, we're interested in what is the key word for that major arcana. So there's many, lots and lots. But what we're going to say is it's about something new. It's about a leap of faith. It's about stepping into the unknown. And that can bring up the Five of Pentacles as the pair, telling us that what? Loneliness. So when we're new in anything, we can feel quite lonely. If we didn't know anything, I would say that this power just means that full on the Five of Pentacles is a new financial journey that you might feel very uncertain about because you're lacking the skills. But the challenge is part of a growth process. And so time to learn, time to embrace those lessons. Maybe you will face some scarcity. Maybe you will face some hardship, but take that leap. So as a pair, if it was we knew nothing, I would say it's just a new financial journey that you're a bit uncertain of and lacking the skills in. But the challenge is to go on and grow. Embrace the lessons of everything that comes, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the not so kind. So that would be a very simple way of reading that pair. Many different ways, of course, but just giving you some ideas. So another word for the Five of Pentacles, okay, is it's possibly about the fact that, bear with me, I'm trying to find my, yeah, right. This is a word that comes up with one of the key words in the meanings of the Five of Pentacles. You might be very new to actual scarcity. Maybe you're like the figures in the card where we tell the story that we think that they've done really well in life and then unfortunately they've fallen on some hard times and now they are facing many different things, maybe poverty, maybe illness, maybe rejection. Scarcity is one of them. They actually look as if they might be a little bit as if nowhere to sleep for the night, especially looking up how they're trudging there in a blizzard. Why would you be out on such a night? So possibly homeless, nowhere to go. And scarcity, not having enough needs, not having enough to go round, not having a roof over your head. And the Fool is saying, they've got no idea. They're really new to this. They've got no experience. So the Fool is a card of having no experience. So you're welcome to ask any questions. Of course you can. Someone asked the other day, we were doing a tutorial where I was telling you lots about that card. And this is one where you can actually go, what if I got this? What if I got that? That kind of thing. Okay. So let's bring on a different card. And let's change that let's go for the Magician. Okay, so if we've got the Magician, the planet, anybody? I know that Passionate Sagittarius not feeling very well and she normally comes up with some answers. So planet for the Magician or the astrological sign. So let's go for the planet and that's Mercury. Okay, so planet of communication, which I believe is in retrograde at the moment. Lots of different things going on up there. I think we're out of the fact that Neptune's stationed last week. Yep, Mercury it is. And we're going to bring that up on the screen once the spinning ball on my computer stops. It is Mercury indeed. And so if we were to look at the word scarcity there, okay, you're going to have to excuse me for a moment, folks. It's a little cold and the aircon reversed in here gets a little warm and down. So, yeah, can throw us a little bit. So the planet Mercury, and that's the planet of communication. So we might be scarce on communication. Nobody's wanting to talk to us. Have you ever thought about reading the cards like that? If we didn't have a question or anything, I would say quite simply, there might be an opportunity with the Magician and the Five of Pentacles to transform your financial or materials difficulties into success. But it would require focus, resourcefulness, and the belief in your ability to manifest change. The method I use, Coco Brown, I'm going to answer that for you. It doesn't matter which way the card is pulled first. I always use the major arcana first. Separate your deck into two piles. 22 major arcana cards on the left, 56 minor arcana cards on the right. Feed the energy of the minor card. You're using that as a clarifier. It's telling you The suit's telling you what the element is, the numbers telling you. Well, fives in tarot are never easy, are they? But yeah, I would always say, yes, it makes a difference, because if you use your major arcana card first and then your minor arcana card secondly, you are feeding the energy of the minor arcana into the major arcana. Why? Because whatever that major arcana is telling us, Mercury, communication, what can we manifest? Linked to the astrological sign of Gemini. So anything that links to that, okay? And keywords for the magician, of course, many, okay? But let's just have a look at what we chose. Manifestation. So maybe communication is scarce. Maybe you're not able to manifest things so easily. And if you are looking at the magician on its own, you'll say all positive things, perhaps. People do reverse cards. Okay? There is no need for reverse cards when you are using a minor card as a pair, because the minor card is telling you the current background effects involved. At what stage they're at, perhaps by the number, making it very simple, but give you something. The element, so this is about productivity or the lack of. This is about struggles, but it's about what's tangible. When we're in a different suit, such as a suit of swords, we're looking at communication and thoughts. So the magician would be pertaining to anything to do with communication and thoughts, as in because you're in the suit of swords. Well, the magician is that because it is Mercury. Don't forget that. I hear people saying things like, oh, the magician, he's a trickster, he's a this, and it's smokes and mirrors. Many, many things can be that, but don't let your imagination sort of take over and let your intuitive side just give it that. It might be that occasionally. I know that I'm not saying it's wrong, but what I'm saying is if you actually know what it is, it makes a lot of sense. It's talking about what you're manifesting in the magician, and the Five of Pentacles here is talking about anything to do with communication or manifestation. It's scarce. It's not really happening. You said, thank you very much. It makes sense. Yeah. It's probably a little bit hard to do it the other way around, Coco Brown. Okay. Great to have you along, and lovely questions. Keep them coming. Really delighted about that. Thank you very much indeed. So let's take another look at another meaning of the Five of Pentacles. Spiritual hunger. What does that mean? Maybe we've got too caught up in manifesting things. Manifesting what? Anything and everything. Productivity, products. What do we need? We need money. We need a roof over our head. We need food. We need to work. We need to make things happen. And producing that, or not producing that, which is maybe what the Five of Pentacles is saying, is you've either run out of products, or you've been so concerned with the products and manifesting them that now you are feeling spiritual hunger. You've lost your way spiritually, perhaps, because you've been too busy coping, getting by, trying to make things happen. Yeah? So it's also, we can't deny it's a card of hardship. It really is. I'm going to move that a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Card of hardship. And we've just got to bear in mind that it does mean that. It's not glitzy, is it, looking at this? Not at all. It's one of those cards where you'd actually say, I'm really feeling it, okay? And whatever I'm manifesting, it's this. What? Poverty, Another word in hardship is, it could come from this. Unemployment, okay? Let me just make that a wee bit smaller. Okay, so yeah, it can mean unemployment. That's not the first thing that would spring to mind. But looking at that, does it look as if they hold down a job? No. Does it look as if they're actually going into the place where we can see the stained glass window that maybe holds light, warmth, food, contact with people? Place where there's no nice word for it, charity. Yeah? Does it look that they've noticed that? Maybe they are just too wrapped up in what they're doing. That's what we talked about in the tutorial last Thursday. So if you missed that, go on YouTube, it's on there. This is a bit of a library here, if you're new here, of each card. And on Thursdays, I give you as much as I have collated that I think will help you with all the information about that card and what you might need to know and what you might need to actually think about. And then what we do is we try and work with the card. And of course, the card last Thursday was the Five of Pentacles. This Thursday will be the Six of Pentacles. And we can then talk to each other and find out the things that as a reader you can say. And I say this all the time. Really think about what kind of reader you want to be. If you want to sit there and pull one card or two cards or three cards, there is nothing wrong with that. Absolutely not. But if you want to go beyond that, and if you want to go beyond that and wonder why, and I am going to say this as plainly as I possibly can, there are people that make a full-time living at tarot, astrology, those kind of professions. It's because they've trained in it. And they are charging 300 US dollars or Australian dollars or 90 pounds up to 200 pounds for a reading. I'm not talking about what time it is because I don't know whether they're giving 60 minutes or an hour and a half or what they're giving. But what I'm saying is, how can they do that and how can they make a full-time living? It's because they've probably studied. Where have they studied? Who knows? You know, it's not really out there, is it? And, you know, there is so much that we pick up keywords here and there. Well, that's like having an idea of what a recipe looks like. And you just see the cake and you know that it's got flowers and eggs in it, but you don't know what else is in that actual recipe to make that beautiful cake. How are you going to know how to do it? You won't know what temperature to cook at, you won't know the ingredients, you're not going to be able to replicate it. You might think you can. If you've got a little bit of knowledge in cooking, you might be able to wing it, of course. But most of the time, we learn something. And we don't just learn something that we buy and the little white book and go off and expect to make a full-time living by just doing that. Or saying, oh, they told me to use my intuition. There's nothing wrong with your intuition. But that on its own can actually be, forget about the person you're reading for you. It can finish you because it's scary, it's a responsibility. You start to feel that you're guessing, it doesn't connect. The pieces of the puzzle aren't there. Nobody showed you how to actually put the puzzle together. You don't know. You know, if somebody said, let's do a jigsaw puzzle together, they would probably sit down and show you, why don't you look at all the edges? Why don't you look at all the colours? Why don't you have some sort of system? They teach you. With tarot, it's very difficult. You might have done workshops. I've done hundreds. And it was literally hundreds. And to be honest, sometimes I think, I can't believe I sat through that. There was always something that was valuable, so it was never a waste of my time. Even if it teaches you that that's too basic, there are people that want that, but they are not going to make it in a full-time career and be able to say that, you know, they can offer you an appointment in a couple of weeks' time because they're fully booked and they are charging X $100, pounds, whatever it is. And if that's what you want to do, you can't give up your day job and just pull in one card for £1. You won't make it, you won't be able to, you'd be like the Five of Pentacles. So this is where this is different. It's about teaching you how you can make a career. And I know what I'm talking about because I ran a platform for a very long time, decades, a couple of decades actually, before I actually said, you know what, I know really that everyone's asking me to do these courses so that they can become self-employed, part-time, or retirement, whatever you want to do. But if you don't want to do that and you just want to do it for yourself, it's also a great system. And you don't have to. It just depends on you. And it depends what you want to do with that. But if you want to go and do those things and have those people, they've probably studied on their own, or they've probably gone off and done something like a thesis in the actual subject, you know? And it's incredibly hard to get. It's not easily available. Read a book and you think, right, that's it, that all made sense. And you try and do it and it's like, I'm struggling. Okay? So that is really why we're here. And that's why the courses are there, because you ask for them. And they're there for people. We've all got busy lives. Therefore, it's important that I've made it available, that you can go and look at it whenever you've got time. Your choice, pick and mix. I really wanted to do it like that. I didn't want to say, no, you're not allowed to do this and you must do it in this order. Do it in any order that you like. But I will tell you that if you try and do the advanced before you actually have done the intermediate, you're going to find that, you know, parts 1 to 10 are missing and you're coming in at 11 to 22. And I'm just saying it like that to you. So that's that. And there are people that want to actually do the intermediate and say, I'll start from the beginning. It's not starting from the beginning. You really need to know your cards. And these tutorials are just a snippet. Okay. So, but good snippets, very good snippets. Yeah. Things that are important that make you go, do you know what? I think I understand now. They pulled those 2 cards and told me, you know what? You are manifesting so much, but in actual fact, although you're unemployed, you're not going to be like that for long. So let's say you were unemployed, that you were actually in that extreme situation. Everyone's fallen on hard times at some point. We've all been made redundant, or, you know, it happened to me once. And it was thankfully while I was at college, and it was a Saturday job, and they just went, no, we don't want you, we want her, because she is going to do this full time once you're gone, and you're not, you're going to college. So we're going to train her, and we're going to start on a Saturday position and give her a trial on Saturday. So someone else stepped into my shoes because I didn't want to advance with where I was, and they had somebody waiting to actually say, I want to do this full time. So fair enough, I was made redundant on that one, simply because I had no interest in continuing working in a shoe shop, as in at that time, because I wanted to study something else. Okay, and they knew that. So yeah, and that can feel a bit like this. Oh gosh, you know, I wanted my money to get me through college, and I've been rejected. But look at what I'm saying. The deal was, are you going to stay? And my deal was, no chance. I'm not staying here. I do this for a short period of time. I am more than happy to be here for a short period of time, but it's not long term. Simple as that. Right, let's look at this. High Priestess. So, what does she tell us? Let's start with the planet. Anybody know? Anybody know the planet for the High Priestess? Okay, think of your intuition. Okay. I know the internet is slow, so I'm sorry, rather than make it boring for everybody to wait for you to type in, I've put it up there. It's the moon. Okay, and so the moon is associated with the High Priestess. As I said, if you like these ruling planets that go with the cards, now you're not going to get it with the cards, you're going to get the ruling planets with the astrological sign. Okay, she's got it. I know she's not, it's just that there's a delay. We are live, of course, so it's come up and I'm trying to put it on the screen. And yeah, we've got the spinning ball on my computer, so something is making it laggy. Sorry about that. So yes, it's the moon. And so if we look at our high priestess, and a key word for her, there's many of course, as I say, but for the sake of this tutorial, I have made it that it's card of the future. And what does that mean? It means it's things that we will learn about, it's things that will be revealed to us. And the Five of Pentacles there, one of the key words on the screen is rejection. So we might be, and usually we may have a hunch, we may have a gut feeling, we may have a psychic moment or an intuitive moment, call it what you will, okay? But we might think, gosh, I'm feeling that I'm being rejected here, or I'm about to be. So forewarned, forearmed, if we are feeling that, okay? So yes, the Five of Pentacles is not one of those cards that you'd go, goody. It's good and bad to everything, but on the whole, it is difficult. It can also be about this, social welfare. Can be, you know, that we have to go to the authorities and see what social assistance we can get. There's all sorts of different words for it. I've used social welfare, so that you know that it's about the welfare of yourself and getting some help from the state or from the government or from the council or wherever, that we are able. Future, it's not yet been revealed to you, but you might be feeling, gosh, something's telling me, you know, this could be on the cards for me, as it were. Okay, that's one of the meanings. What I would say if I saw this pair, I would say, trust your intuition during some tough financial times. Pay attention to it. What might seem like a loss might actually hold some hidden lessons or lead to an unexpected spiritual or emotional insight. So, an example, I was telling you way back before while I was wanting to study at college, and I had this Saturday job from school and off to college afterwards. I had a Saturday job in a shoe shop, and yes, I was rejected because someone was saying, well, I want to come in full-time. And it's like, there's no full-time positions at the moment, but you can have Anne-Marie's job on Saturday. Start with that. As soon as it's there, you'll be first in. So I was out, and that's fine. What happened then was I managed to get with the supermarket, and the supermarket gave me Thursday night, Friday night, and all day Saturday. So although I was rejected, I got something far better, didn't I? Far, far better. Was absolutely delighted. Why? Because, you know, it was 6 till 9 in the evening, Thursday night, Friday night, all day Saturday. I was making 3 times the amount that they were giving me at the shoe shop. So, can be, yeah. When we're rejected and we kind of what is it? It made me go out there and go, you know what, I need a job. I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. I've got to sort myself out. And it was totally convenient. And I stayed and stayed and stayed. Until I actually qualified and went off and got my new job immediately. So there you go. And yeah, it was a great experience. So there are things from the Five of Pentacles where we can actually go, what can I find out about what's going on? And, you know, I couldn't have got social welfare because I wasn't entitled to anything. But there are things sometimes that we can feel alienated. And I have to say, you know, this pretty young thing that took my Saturday job, I felt that everybody had alienated me and that there was something wrong with me while I was there. But something told me, even if I felt that, that was the feeling I was in the wrong place. Yeah. It. I would actually say that I wouldn't call it that. I can understand that, and I think there's nothing wrong with that saying. But I think that what this card actually tells us is we can feel very, very lonely. But I also would say to you, it's always a card of finding out who your true friends are. So I'm not sure how I'd answer you there, Coco Brown, as in with that. Yeah, you could stick together, providing you actually feel that you really know their friends. Because if you are like the two figures in this card, you probably feel alienated from friends. You're no longer, I mean, the story with this card is it's a bit like, you know, once upon a time, they were the haves. They had, you know, friends, they had social standing, they probably had nice clothes and plenty to eat. Fallen on hard times. The friends have gone out the window, all the so-called friends. Sticking together, it looks like these two are not doing that. And it also looks like they are not looking at help that's been offered there. So I'm not sure how I would actually, I don't think there's anything wrong, but for me, it's about trying to actually make sure that you don't miss something. And new friends will come in, because genuine people, or the old people in your life that see you fall on hardships, will be there. And I will tell you that, you know, in life, we all, you know, I'm no spring chicken, and I've seen a lot of things happen. And I feel that this is very true. When people actually are no longer in the mix or the vibe, or, you know, the jet set, whatever you want to call it, the clique, the neighborhood, I think people can forget about each other. Trying to stick with people that perhaps haven't got your back when you most needed them. True friends will come in. If you're falling on hard times, the person that says, you know, I remember a friend of mine a long time ago, she just said, if ever you need anything, just call. I won't even need to know why you need it. I'll be there. And that includes if you need to stay, you know, for whatever period of time. And she meant it. Oh, you're new to tarot? Then we are so delighted to have you along. Coco Brown. I'm very, very different to a lot of people. And the reason is, it's because I kind of say it as it is. Why? Because if you're going to be a reader and you want to grow, you want to know yes or no. Okay? So Five of Pentacles, people say it's a negative card. We can all make a generalized statement like that. I wouldn't say it's a happy card. I'd say it's rough. All fives in tarot are difficulties, adversities. But they are there for you to either mope, cry over spilt milk, or do something. And I think if you stick with the old crowd that maybe don't really want you or haven't really helped you, no. I think you should look at, if you've been alienated, or, you know, you're not welcome anymore, sort of thing, and you felt that, and it's not your ego or your pride or anything, but you genuinely, where were they, you know, when you needed them, when you needed some medicine? Look at our characters, they're not well, when they needed shelter, when they needed something on their feet. If your friends have not helped you, then perhaps they're not friends. So I wouldn't stick with people like that. I would look for the fact that you will find out who's genuinely there. Yeah? Great question. With the Devil and the Five of Pentacles showed despondency and staying together. Let's take a look at it. Okay, right. For a moment, let's Let me pay you. Sorry, I'm still suffering with vertigo here and there. That's bad, but it's hard for me when I'm trying to focus, so sorry about that. Right, and next thing obviously copy and pasted my scenes, and there we are. We've got the Devil card. So the question is, would the Devil card with the Five of Pentacles show dependency and staying together? Yes, it could do. But again, I would say yes because of the Devil. And I would also say there is a temptation to stay with the devil you know. But I don't think they're great to each other. Are not helping each other in that picture, are they? Bit like, you know, well, you're on your own sort of thing. So let's say the Devil and the Five of Pentacles. How I would look at it is it's material or financial struggles. It's keeping you rooted in unhealthy attachments of fear. So let go of the limiting beliefs and release yourself from the chains of scarcity in your thinking and in your actions. But yeah, I think it would actually say there is a dependency to stay together, but perhaps for all the wrong reasons. Yes. I think that's a great way of putting it, actually. Passionate Sagittarius, really do. It can mean so many things. You know, these are just examples. And, you know, do I always say the same thing for every pair? Of course not. Of course not. Depends who I'm reading for, because I'm using my intuition, but I'm also using, you know, clearly what the code is and what I'm interpreting from the cards. Let's bring up the astrological sign, of course, which is Capricorn. Okay, so if you know any Capricorns, that will help you. Or if you are a Capricorn, look at the actual Devil card and think about some key sort of aspects of your personality, the good, the bad, the not so good. The same for any card that's got an astrological sign, please do. And yeah, the Devil card, you know, if we are in a place of emotional bondage towards something, or physical bondage, material bondage as it is, how many people do we know that would actually sort of stick together because they're scared of being out in the cold? In what way? Financially? Maybe roof over their head, maybe got no job, no way of actually, you know, looking after themselves, friendships out the window, the group of friends, they're going to go with the partner that you're leaving, perhaps. Are they going to support you? Are they going to want to see you? If they are going to support you, are they still going to want to see you if you're no longer together? There's all these kind of things going on, isn't there? So, you know, we can feel loneliness. And the Devil card, as in, what keyword have we got up for the Devil card? We've got several. So just to confuse you, Passionate Sagittarius, it is about being materialistic in this case, you know. That's all you're focused on. Oh, well, I'll have nowhere to live. Oh, I'll have to give up the car. Oh, I'll have to give up all the good things. It's, yes, but I wouldn't make that as a prediction or a statement. I would actually say, you're absolutely right. You know, it's unhealthy dependency, isn't it? So yeah. It is. You know, these two, just look at them. They're too wrapped up in themselves. And it smacks of self-pity, sadly. And we can all do that. You know, we are human. We feel everything. And always welcome it when you're feeling something negative. Thank it and hope it goes away pretty damn quick. But what is that? it's allowing you to experience that, so you have empathy for people that cannot suddenly just move on perhaps as quick as you. And I'm not saying you're a genius, but it's an acquired skill to actually go, I don't want to wallow, I don't want to be like this, I don't want to be enslaved. It's to get to a point where you are not enslaved is where you take accountability. Accountability is, if I have nowhere to sleep, I am better off on my own than being in this, as you called it. No. I think the description between us is perfect. Perfect. But it wouldn't be something I would use verbatim to a client. I would actually say, you know what, you're probably really used to the devil you know. And, you know, it's a bit scary and you're going to be lonely when you walk away from all of this. Yeah? So Coco Brown, you're absolutely right. It's just that while we're discussing things and how we would actually say things to a client might be very different. And it's not about wrapping it up. It's actually about respect, and it's about not telling them what to do, because tarot is divination, isn't it? Divination. Astrology is, you know. And some people think it's hocus pocus. Well, it works. Why does it work? It's been around a very long time. Despite what people can say, you know, oh, I don't believe in that old thing, do you? Funny how, you know, it's been used so much. Yes, it did derive from, you know, playing bridge, as in a tarot Marseille way back, you know, I think it was Italy. But it's developed from that. And it's the aspects that we have and the attributes of things that happen in life. Everything has a beginning, like the Fool. Everything has a completion, like the World. Everything has, you know, we start something off and then we partner up. Suddenly we have a buddy, and, you know, we feel we've been supported, and we've either got a friendship or a partnership or a relationship or a business buddy or a study buddy, whatever you want to call it. Yeah? So that's like the twos in tarot. Then we become creative. Then we start to create and make sure that we cooperate with other people. And then we become grounded, and we get stability, and we start feeling that, you know, we've got some sort of security, like putting the foundations of a house or putting up for posts for a tent. Yeah? It's that kind of thing. And then, of course, the more sort of dynamics, the more things become, the different aspects of people start to have an effect upon what we're doing. And if we want to blame them, we are handing over our power to those people. And you know what, you could say this to a client, but they won't thank you for it. Why? They may not be ready. That's for them to decide that. You can describe something like, you're feeling, you know, let's just talk about the devil and say, you know what, there is this whole, let me just get some more keywords for that, materialism. There is this whole attachment. You fear being lonely, okay? Or you're feeling very restricted, and you know what, you can be lonely in the relationship you're actually in. Oh, well, I'm lonely anyway, but at least, you know, I'm scared to be on my own. People say that an awful lot. They're not ready. And it's not our place to tell them. What we can do is actually say, I totally understand the cards are perhaps describing your feelings at the moment. And when you're ready, you'll perhaps know when the right time is and what's the right way for you. But based on the current effects, this is how it's looking. Yeah? So, yeah, there can be restrictions due to, as we said, attachments. And, of course, that can bring in the fact that we're worried about hardship. And we feel that we are going to be alienated from everyone and everything that we know because we've broken up with that person. Very difficult to actually stay friends with the same group of people and still have your partner or your you know, your husband, whatever it is, or your wife. It becomes difficult. So, yeah, struggles. Yeah. Feelings. Okay, well, you know, really and truly, it's about the fact that it isn't, if you're pulling out pentacles in the actual place of feelings, I think what you could say here is you feel alienated. Yes, you could use that as in as feelings of alienation is rather than what it actually is. If it comes up in a position of emotions. But if I've got any card that's sitting in an emotional position, I will say they think if it's a sword, they feel if it's a cup, they will do if it's, or they are doing if it's a wand, or they have done this to you, or this is happening right now if it's a pentacle. Yeah? So if you're looking for somebody who wants to know how they feel, I think it's important, if you got this as a power and said, how do they feel? I would actually turn around and say to you that, you know what, I feel that this is a very physical relationship. It is physical. The devil is physical. We've got pentacles there. Yeah? And you two look like you might be pulling apart, you know? And you've probably felt that. Maybe when you're ready, you need to be ready for just enjoy it while it lasts sort of thing. You know, but, you know, what do they feel about me? They're too wrapped up in themselves, actually. I'd answer it like that. They are. Look at that. Neither of them are paying attention to the other. They're not helping each other. That tells you something. So if you're asking about how do people feel, self-absorbed, very much so. And why am I with you? Better the devil, I know. Don't really want to be on my own. Don't really want to support you and don't want your support. It's not great, but, you know, it's there. So I would look at it like that. There's some great questions around tonight, folks. Really, really like that. Okay. So, special request before we finish. Judgment card, she said. Can we have the judgment card? Yeah. Okay. Right. It'd be somewhere. Yeah, judgment card. So, judgment card. Let's keep alienated on the screen and let's look at judgment card with the planet Pluto. Okay. And I have put, what have I put up there today? Oh, I put a little quiz up there for you today. Go and have a look. It's free. Only a tiny one, yes or no. We'll be doing some more quizzes later, but there will be paid quizzes to help you with your tuition. It takes a long time to put something together like that, and I'm just playing with ideas at the moment to see if it will work. So go and have a look at the yes and no quiz. It's free, download it, and go and have a look at your ruling planets. The more you know in astrology, your planets, your signs, don't feel that you have to know it all, just learn a little, but it will make sense. Pluto, linked, this is the ruling planet that I've got. You can get download your own copy, yeah? Yeah. So let's look at Pluto on here. What's it associated with? Can you see? If you look at 1 o'clock on the clock face, Scorpio. All right. So we go back to judgment. So you can get that. I've done that as in for you to download and a little quiz. So got Onda to thank for designing that for me. He's a star. Right. Let's look at the fact that Coco Brown, if you know astrology, seriously, you're going to love this method because I really, really use a lot of astrology, as you're probably seeing. Pluto is coming up there, attached to Scorpio. You know, you're going to love it. And let's just tell you about the courses, okay? I will get to that in a minute. So I'll put it up on the screen. Don't go anywhere, Coco Brown. I'll be showing you that in a second, okay? Reevaluating. Oh, gosh, sorry. Look at that. Bear with me. That was last week's. Okay, sorry about that, my darlings. We've got, it's because I was chatting. Did you see what happened there? Last week's PDF, sorry. There we go. Back. Just shows you, doesn't it? Right, so we've got a Judgment card, and we know that it relates to Pluto. And we've got a card of Five of Pentacles. So we also know that Pluto is associated, as I showed you on the wheel, with Scorpio. Okay? It's going to help you. Think of Scorpio. Think of Pluto. The more you know about Pluto, the more you know about Scorpio, the more you know about the Judgment card and the aspects of it. And then learning that card is fairly simple once you know the background effects and the meanings of it. And I don't mean it just means X, Y, and Z. Okay, keyword that we used for that particular card was reevaluating, as you saw on the screen. And if we look at reevaluating your loneliness, so you're at a place and you kind of go, you know what, this would remind me, if I got this power, I would actually say, think of it as in you've got everything, you know, been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirts, absolutely fabulous. You know, you've been in a band, you've made it good, you travelled the world, and you suddenly go, do you know what, I'm so lonely, I'm sick of being in hotel rooms, I never get to meet anyone, I've always got a bodyguard with me, I'm always told where to sit and stand, what to wear, I've always got 6 people sort of tending to me, you know, doing my hair, doing this, I've got no life of my own. I'm surrounded by people, but I am so lonely. Okay, so Judgment and Five of Pentacles. My assessment very quickly of this card is it's time for reflection and self-assessment. Look at your financial choices and circumstances. Take responsibility and accountability for your actions to rise to your new opportunity for abundance. Now, what that can mean is you are leaving behind poverty, or you are leaving behind something that is the opposite of that. But it's worth it, because the loneliness you're experiencing right now is making you happy. You do the traditional rulers. Do you know we had that on the screen a couple of weeks ago and it confused so many people, I changed it. Okay, got it. Coco Brown, would you mind sharing one of the traditional rulers for our beautiful Judgment card? Yeah? If you'd share that with us. We put that on the screen, didn't we? I also gave Passionate Sachi a PDF copy of that. And I think, you know, it's hard because there is both, astrologers would know that. And I am training in astrology and kind of understood that people that aren't would probably find that a little bit tricky. Okay, so reevaluating your loneliness. You can be lonely with people. You can be lonely without. You could be looking at how you feel lonely now and how you prefer to continue being lonely on your own rather than surrounded by a lot of people where you feel awful. Yeah, can be. Also, it's like reevaluating scarcity. Gosh, it's going to be scarce with money. Not going to be this, not going to be that. You know, looking at the fact that you're prepared to go through hardship. Why? Because you are aware that there is something missing in your life and you are spiritually hungry. You are hungry for that very thing that causes you to feel that it's worth it. Perhaps it's because you're already aware that you're feeling isolated or alienated in the current situation, which is requiring you to move on. So that could be, you know, absolutely. Yep. In astrology, she would use Mars as the ruler of Scorpio. So there you go. You can, because this is yours, all right, this is exactly what I'm saying. You can integrate your own bits because you know that the Judgment card is linked as in to Pluto, what would you use for Pluto? You know, and what would you use for Scorpio? See how nuanced this can become, Coco Brown. There's no rights and wrongs apart from the fact that you know that the Judgment card is linked to the planet Pluto. Simple as. And what you know from Pluto, you then go in and go, right, it's this, it's this, it's this. So modify it, adapt it, make it yours. Okay? You are not wrong. There is, as we talked about, traditional rulers, as in with astrology. People learning tarot, that could be way too much. It probably is a little bit too much for them to look at this. Oh, I don't want to know that. It's so useful. And we have natal charts on the website. Why? Because I want people to be able to look at themselves, look at where their Mars is, where their Venus is, where their ascendant is, and look at the colourful array of who they are and put it all together and go, you know, my moon is Cancer, my sun is Capricorn, you know, my ascendant is Virgo, you know, what a mixture. Why is that mixture? Why does it come out that, you know, the Capricorn comes out all blunt, but the sensitive moon of Cancer is all hurt and hard done by when they feel that other people haven't understood just the plain vanilla of their actions. And Virgo, how, you know, you are studious and dutiful and precise and competent in everything that you do within your daily life, how you act in that way. Then look at all those other things that go on. You know, your Mercury, your Venus, your Mars, it's all on there for free. You know, why have I put it on there? So you can go and look it up. And when you find out about you, you'll know a little bit more about more than just your sun sign. And, you know, ask people what's your star sign and kind of go, you know, okay, so you're a Gemini, are you? You're not, and think of what Geminis you know and what you're observing, aspects. And one day when you're reading tarot, that person will pop into your head, and there's a reason for that, because it's giving you an aspect intuitively, but because you've done it technically, if you like, and educated yourself, the whole thing just becomes this amazing, beautiful, unique you. Nobody wants to read like me or whatever. You might want to use a system like I do, and somebody that is used to supporting readers, which is what I've done for years, and supporting clients, both sides of it, running platforms, being the boss, you know, who we're going to interview, who we're going to take on, who we're going to not take on. I'll tell you who we wouldn't take on, people that just wanted to chat. Oh, hello, love, you all right? Yeah, I did that. I was watching telly the other day. And they think they're doing really well because they're friendly. Didn't come there for that, so those wouldn't get hired. But people that were struggling a little bit with using too few cards, we'd actually turn around and go, you know what, if you want to turn around and come back and give this another try, you'd be fine. But unfortunately, you can't go into the depth of what people are asking, and that's going to be awful for you and awful for them. So why don't you come back? We're happy to, you know, interview you again whenever you want another chance or another go, and talk to you soon. But use more cards and try and come up with why you think that. And the other people who wouldn't get through is those that go, oh yeah, you're going to live a long and healthy life. I see you've got loads of money and you're just fine. And, you know, yeah, you know, you're going to live, you know, till no health matters. Don't do health. Don't tell people how long they live. We're not there. We're not fortune tellers. This background current effects that's going on, and if they are to continue on the path that they're on, what's the likelihood of where they're going to end up? That's what it's all about. Right, my lovelies, let's have a look at this. So, yeah. What a great question. Coco Brown, this is great. Passionate Saturday asks loads of questions and she's not feeling very well tonight. I'm really grateful. Because judgment is Pluto, I would be stuck as to which sign to give it, as I don't use co-rulers. Could I just use Pluto by itself? Yes, of course you can. This is what I'm saying. Knowing, and you know what Pluto is all about. You know, perhaps next week, Coco Brown, if you would be so kind, if you are available, you could actually share a little with us because you know about astrology. We'd love to hear that. One day I'd love to have my tutor come on and share time with us, but he does so much already, and he's very giving, and I wouldn't like him to give any more than he is able to do. But Coco Brown, if you wanted to come and actually share with us a little bit what you know about Pluto, I think we'd be fascinated. I think you're doing brilliant. There were the courses. You can go and have a look at them. Yes, I want you to... The idea is that if you've got all of this, you've got that support, and you can go and look at Colette Baron Reid, you can go and look on YouTube. It's some really old school... serious people that lecture tarot or would even talk about, but then you can get lost in an hour of them talking about the Kabbalah or this or that and the other, and I don't do that. I don't do Thorpe, and I don't, but why? It's complicated enough as it is, and I go with what I'm comfortable with. I want you to be comfortable. That's it. Going, I think this, and oh yeah, and oh, I think I should say this. It shouldn't be anything to do with what we think. It should be just as an astrologer does. It's there in black and white. I'm giving it to you. I'm trying to do it in a way that is respectful, it's kind, and helping you understand that, like in astrology, you know that things can... It's like the weather forecast, and it's like, oh, there's going to be storms today. It doesn't mean that, you know, we're going to get hit by lightning. Someone might, because it might be in that one place, but if you take care and don't go out when the lightning's on, and you don't go to where you know it was going to be direct, and you were careful, and it might be near you but it doesn't get you. And how many people does it not get? Perhaps gets one out of thousands, but it was accurate because it was a storm and it was lightning and it didn't affect you. Do you see? It's that is astrology. It's happening. Oh, it didn't happen to everyone, did it? One in so many. It's accurate. It's very accurate. And use what makes sense to you. But just using your intuition and just pulling a card and going, oh, gosh, 3 of Wands, don't know what to say about that. They've asked me how they feel about me. I think this means this is the third party. No, it might mean, you know, this person is so creative and, you know, they're close to someone else like their business partner and you're feeling left out. It might mean that they are creating more space for you. It might be that you are experiencing the fact that you're creating something together, you know, and things are happening and it's going to grow beyond what it is. It wants to get bigger. It's just an example. Don't kind of go, oh, someone told me that, I'll use that every time. Because you could be doing a lot of harm with what you think rather than the true meanings. And that's really why I'm here, to kind of give you this library of what you want to do with it. But lovely questions. Always feel that you can do what you want. Just having the background information will just make you feel so much better about you as a reader. So there's no hard and fast rules. But one thing I will say is, even if you just want to pull one card, that's fine, but you are not going to get an hour's reading out of that and answer somebody's questions without perhaps your own personality and thoughts and interpretations coming in as a human rather than about the reading. Does that make sense, everybody? Yeah? Okay. So, thank you, Coco Brown. Thank you, Passionate Saji, and everybody that was watching tonight. Wonderful to have your company. And yes, we're here on Thursday with the Six of Pentacles. And anything you've got to share, absolutely love it. Thursday will be a tutorial. Very much, you can ask questions at the end, but it won't be so much sort of helping as when we do this. This is much more interactive. Passionate Sagittarius, hope you feel better. It's one of those times of years where the damp, the cold was susceptible to, oh, I was looking at seeing that you've got a bugbear. It's what she was saying earlier about emotions. Yes, okay, sorry, thanks, Passionate Sagittarius. So, I'll see you Thursday. If not, see you next Tuesday. If you miss anything, go and have a look at the podcast. Oh, crikey, I forgot to show you those, didn't I? Hold on, let's do that very quickly. Here's the podcast. It's what you're looking for on YouTube if you want to actually look at these tutorials. And there's a playlist. We began right at the beginning with the Major Arcana. That's just kind of showing the suit of swords. And as you can see, we've gone right through those. So if you've missed anything, you can go and look it up. It's nothing like you will get on the courses. They're just a whole different level. So you know where to find it, and you know where to find me. See you next time. Thanks for your company. I'm going to play you out right now, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.